What's up, everyone? It's Colin here, back with another video, and today we're going to do a deal breakdown from a deal that I actually just closed on today, the day I'm actually recording this video. The video won't be out for another few days, so by the time the video is posted, this deal has been closed and funded. So I want to give you guys an exact blueprint on the deal and give you the in-depth scenarios and different things that happen in this deal. And this is a very interesting deal because we didn't make that much money from it, but more importantly, we helped the seller get out of a really, really bad situation. So without further ado, let's get started. So I first talked to the listing agent on this property. This deal was in New Orleans. So I called up this guy probably back in mid-February, and right now it's early May. So that's 2 or 3 months ago, which is a really long time, but that's what it takes to get deals done. So we had a really good conversation. Basically, what happened was there was another sub two company, a competitor, I guess you can say, that got this deal under contract and couldn't close on the deal because of the way they structure the deal. So the number one thing I want to tell you guys is that knowing how to underwrite and knowing how to actually send a correct offer and how to open title and do all these little things correctly is everything. So we had this conversation, me and the listing agent, about this deal. And basically one of the things he told me was that the buyer or the company was going to give him 6% for this deal. And as many of you guys know who are in real estate, a listing agent traditionally gets 3%, and then a buyer's agent gets 3%, and that's 6% total. This guy or company who was coming in was going to give the listing agent himself 6%, which is way too much because the listing agent is listing the property. They're not on both sides. They're only listing the property. They're not negotiating the deal on the buyer side. They're only on the listing side. So I had a really interesting conversation because I haven't really seen this before, but basically there's a lot of bad wholesalers in the world, and these wholesalers always overgive, and then they can't successfully close on the stuff they give because there's a lack of experience. So if you guys are getting into wholesaling, you need to make sure you have a good team with you and you have people who are really, really good at what they do. If you're a bad wholesaler, you're harming people, and that's not what you're looking to do here. But I explained to the listing agent that this guy who got the deal under contract with him is a joker. He doesn't know what he's doing. And it happens all the time. I see this all the time. He was planning on giving the sellers like $5,000, which is way too much. And I'm all in for giving sellers money, but I want to make sure I can help them get the deal done and not overpromise and not fulfill all my obligations. So I explained to him that number one, if this property, it was listed at like around $150,000. If it was sold at full price, they're netting, I think it was like nothing. It was right around zero. And I'm like, why is this guy giving them $5,000? Because it sounds good on paper, but if you can't actually fulfill it, it doesn't matter. You're not helping anyone, you're hurting people. So I came in, I'm like, look, man, your 3% is about $4,000. So that's what we're gonna give you. Because I do deals. I know how to underwrite. And I had to explain to this guy that we can get this deal done, but in order to get the deal done, you have to listen to us because we have experience and the other company most likely didn't. But again, it happens all the time. There's a lot of bad wholesalers who are new, and that's okay. But when you're wholesaling, you need to make sure you're with the right people so you're not doing things like this and harming people, because the whole goal of the business is to help people, not harm people. So I came in, I told this dude, look, $1,500 to your seller, that's $1,500 more than they would make if they sold at full price. $4,000 for you, and you're literally getting paid because you're listing the property, right? And then he was like, yeah, let's do it. But then later in that conversation, we find out there's 6 months of arrears. And arrears mean the seller has not paid the mortgage for months. So they were $6,600 behind payments. So that $6,600 gets included in our offer. So we're not only giving the sellers $1,500, but we're also giving them $6,600 as well. That's going to the payments that are not being paid. So all goes well. Offer gets sent. They sign, ready to go. This was probably 2 months ago. We opened title, and we are looking good here because we were going to make good money here. We had a buyer who we work with all the time who was ready to go. But we opened title on this. Basically, you put EMD in. You have the title company that you use in your specific area. Open title. So they check the title history. They do a title search to make sure there's nothing else, like no encumbrances or any other liens. So that happens. We find out there's like a $23,000 partial claim. And it wasn't just one partial claim. There were 3 or 4 partial claims. So that means it's like a loan mod. Basically, the seller didn't pay the mortgage previously, and they did a partial claim. And they did that 2 or 3 other times. So that $23,000 has to get paid by someone. So that itself really made a deal hard. So that made it really bad. So again, we're in the business of helping people. So what happened was we had to extend the closing because we didn't know this. This is not our fault. The title company does a title search, and then the seller is supposed to disclose everything with us. And in this case, the seller was in a really bad situation. So I totally understand where they're coming from. They probably just forgot or didn't know. It's okay because we helped them. It doesn't matter. But things like this happen all the time. So as a person in real estate, you have to be ready for it. And we are, luckily. We have really good people on our team who are professionals. So it's great to have that. But that $23,000 partial claim has to get paid. And luckily it was on the back end of the loan and there was no interest. So whatever partner of ours actually took over the debt and purchased the property would have to pay that 23 grand at the back end. And that messes up a lot of things. And by the way, the roof was damaged. There was a lot of work that needed to be done already to the property, and the crime rate was kind of high. And remember, New Orleans has a higher crime rate in some areas. So that and the roof and all these things makes it really tough. So luckily, because we had a good relationship with the listing agent, we talked and we agreed, like, look, let's just extend this another month, a couple of weeks, whatever. Let's see what happens, because our guy originally backed out, right? He was like, look, my cash on cash return is really low. I want to get some other deals, because these guys are millionaires who have tons of money, who are repeat buyers. That's how we operate. We have repeat buyers. But again, things happen. So it got delayed because title, but luckily the listing agent, we were using the title company that we've never used before. We used a title company that the listing agent had a relationship with, and he really wanted us to use them. So we were like, look, we want to help you guys get this done. Let's do it. Fast forward a few weeks later, and we're talking again, and basically we agreed, like, let's just push it back and let's see what we can do here. Because again, it's not our fault, and it's not the listing agent's fault. I mean, it's technically the seller's fault, but we don't want to blame the seller because we're trying to help her here. It's no one's fault. It's just something that happens, and you have to be ready for it. But this is the best part. So the deal closed today, the day I'm recording this video, and I make hardly any money on it. I think we made around like $1,000 or like $1,500 between like 5 of us, 4 of us. We didn't make anything. But what's the lesson about this? We're helping someone. After having deep conversations with the agent and other people as well, the seller needed help. And I am so happy we got to help her. And now she can move on with her life. All of her debts getting taken care of, and she's in great hands. But it's a tough business, and you have to be ready to get punched in the face every single day. And that's literally what happened on this deal. So it's closing, but we didn't make any money. But who cares? Who cares about the money when you're actually helping someone? And also, by the way, this listing agent is sending us referrals now because he saw us get a deal done with him when other people failed to get the deal done because of a lack of experience. So what does that tell you guys? If you're starting a business, whether it's real estate or any other niche, you need to figure out how to beat your competitors. And in our case, luckily, we have a great team and great people. It's really easy when everyone's on the same page. It really is. And we got the deal done with them. So I'm so glad we got to help them. And I hope that you guys understand that money is not everything. Like this deal we worked on for 3 months, and we're probably each making a few $100, each of us. Like that's not a lot of money. Most of our deals, we're making a good amount of money. Like an average creative deal, I do between 10 and 25 or 30 grand. We have a deal in Atlanta right now that's great, and we're gonna make a lot of money off of it. But it was a lot easier of a deal to get done. This deal was harder, but that's just part of the business. So I'm all in the business of helping people, and that's my goal. And I'm so glad we got to help these people. And not only is it feel good to help this lady get out of a bad situation, but we're also helping the listing agent get paid. He gets that listing off his hands that he couldn't previously sell traditionally. It's great, and he is sending us other business. So it's a win-win-win, and I'm so glad that I was part of this, because I learned a great lesson that, hey, just because we're not making money doesn't mean we're not doing something good. So it's so great that everyone's happy now and that we're closing on this. And we have a lot of other stuff in New Orleans. So if you are a real estate agent in New Orleans or any bigger city, feel free to text me or email me. I'll put all my stuff in the description. I'm also licensed. I'm actually at EXP. I am not really a listing agent. I'm going to co-list properties with some of my partners, but I mostly got it for the reputation, because in this business, you need to figure out any way to make yourself look better than everyone else. And having that license is so crucial, because when you're talking to other agents, if they see that you're licensed, they're going to be more willing to listen to you and more willing to have a conversation versus a random person who's trying to get deals done who doesn't have a license. Because it's not easy to get a real estate license. It takes a lot of work. So I totally respect any real estate agents. I love real estate agents. My business revolves around working with real estate agents. So again, you got to figure out any little tricks or tools you can use to make yourself beat other people who you're against. Because again, this world is a competition. So I hope you guys learned a lesson here that money is not everything. Even if you make nothing, it's still something, because you learn from it and you grow from it. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I do want to post more deal breakdowns like this, where I explain from beginning to end what happened and give you guys some inspiration, motivation, and also teach you guys the dynamics of how to get a deal done correctly. But again, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.